take questions for Coach. We'll start with Jim here in the front left.
Hi, Matty. It looks like Evan Bouchard might play if you got him with Chris Russell. And if so, what have you seen and what do you expect from a guy playing his first game in Sweden?
We have some lineup decisions that we need to make over the next 24 hours. Generally speaking, we've had a pretty good training camp. There's been a lot of guys that have earned the opportunity to, one, stick with the team and two, to play. And obviously we have too many numbers. So there's going to be a couple disappointed players tomorrow, which is okay. They should be disappointed. They want to play. They're not coming out because of their inactions. It's just that we can't dress that many. As far as Bush goes, he may get his opportunity to play tomorrow. He will get an opportunity to play. He's not here just to watch. And whenever that happens, we expect him to be excited, ready, probably a little bit anxious like the rest of the young players that play their first game. But he's shown to have a great calmness to him and been able to adjust. So we look forward to seeing him play.
Chris Russell been here?
He has passed all the tests he needs to pass. I just need to hear from the trainers later on this afternoon that he's good to go.
Nick, front right.
Nick?
That was basically my question. But
Matt, are you stealing everybody's questions again?
Try, what's the identity of this team and how does it need to be? Well, forget last year. What's the identity of this team need to be and how much of that is going to be playing faster with speed?
Well, the theme at training camp, we had a meeting and I asked our group, who are we and who are you? And we have to answer those questions. And when we, in the past, have played to a strong identity and played that consistently, we've given ourselves a chance to win. When we've got away from it, we haven't been as successful. And part of our identity is going to have to be, yes, play faster and the tempo and the pace and puck movement and all that type of stuff, but we have to become a better risk management team. We have to become a better defensive team. Obviously, special teams play a big role in all of that, but overall, 260-some goals against doesn't get you an opportunity to play in late April, early May.
Mike, middle row on the right.
Todd, have you seen a more confident, more improved Carlo Yamamoto this year? And well, I guess in the preseason. And second part to that, do you see the chemistry? Is there some chemistry there with Draisaitl and Lucic?
The first part, he's older. With Yama, it was a bit of an older draft last year too, so he's a little further along than some of the 18, 19-year-olds that enter the league. So I see a maturity level that's greater than it was last year at this time physically. He's changed. He's put a little meat on his bones, got a little bit stronger. Mentally, he feels a little more comfortable in and around the team. And what's interesting is last year he was the team really took to him. He was kind of the young, small guy, and players, I think they appreciated having him around. He was kind of a fun guy to have around. Now they look at him as a teammate, and they treat him a little bit differently, maybe a little more seriously. And that's not a negative. That's not a negative towards Yamo or to our group, but that shows me that he's maturing and the group's matured with him.
Middle row on the left.
Juha Hietala, Ilta-Sanomat, Finland. My question is about Jesse Puljujarvi. What's the biggest difference in his game comparing, let's say, a year ago?
Well, it's still young in the season, and Jesse played his first few exhibition games with a tremendous amount of confidence. He's a big skating forward that has to bully his way into areas and into the ice, and when he stays in plays, he's very effective. When he roams in and out of the play, he becomes ineffective. And I think that we saw him stay in plays a lot more in the exhibition season thus far this year. The game is going to get faster. It's going to get more intense. It's going to get there's going to be some situations that he'll have to play better this year, and we expect him to. With our new staff, we've spent time talking about him a lot, and you know, the words still come up. You know what? He's a young player. This is his third year, and his experience now and the pressure we're going to put on him is to take the next step. He may be young in age, but he's not young in experience anymore. And it's time for him to push and take that next step.
Gene in the back on the left here.
Just to your left, are you able to, as camp goes on, and it seems like being in Europe might throw things off for everyone, but not the coach, just gauge your team, sort of where it's at and how it feels getting ready for the season?
I think we're anxious to play. It's felt like this trip's been a long one already, just because we haven't played many games. Lots of practice time, travel, all the fun and games that go with sightseeing and all that type of stuff. But our team needs to get going. We need to have the stress put on us of a real win and a real loss. We need to begin to feel that. We need to establish a bar, set the bar early here in game one, or at least establish a bar and try and move it up from there. And I think we're anxious to do that.
Second row on the left.
Hi, what are you expecting from your Swedish defensemen, Adam Larsson and Oskar Klefbom this year? I'm thinking about what kind of offensive production do you want to see from them in the 5-on-5 play?
Well, first of all, they've got to play solid defensively. And when they did that in the past, they were a tough pair to play against. And they've got to get back to that. Both of them had some issues with their season in the past 12 months, some personal, some physical. There's no reason that either of them can't have an elite year this year, especially playing together. They're both healthy. They've got over their personal things, and a lot of times we have them up on the board as number 1 and number 2. And whether that's fair or not, that's what they are on our team, and they have to perform to that level. Offensively, Clef has a little more flair than Adam does, but they both can find their way to leave their mark on game in that area as well.
Time for 2 more. Jim here in the front left.
Maddie?
A couple of things. One, how much of Cam Talbot's game last year was Cam, and how much of it was your defensive play was somewhat weak in your end of the ice, and there was too many good chances on Cam? And the other question is, if Chris plays, then you've got too many players on your roster too. You have 1 extra player. So is that what you're talking about in terms of a decision making? You'd have 24 players, not 23.
Yeah, we'll have to. I'll answer the second one first. There's a lot that goes into managing cap, roster spots, that type of stuff, and that's why we have a management team. They'll take care of that part of it. The first part in regards to Cam and his play and the team in front of him, to me, it all goes together. In fact, it's magnified when the team's playing poorly. The goaltender often has poor numbers. There's times when the goaltender can bail the team out and make it look better than it maybe is or was. And Talbs has done that in the past for us. So we want to balance that out. We want to play real well in front of him, and we want him to be as sharp as he possibly can. And in my opinion, he has been that to this point.
Jessica, last one, middle row on the left.
Hi, Todd. Just going back to Cam here. He hasn't played a game in a week, but he's shown really well in preseason. Do you see a difference in him from this time last year to now, and do you feel he's ready for Saturday?
I was asked that question before, and I don't. Cam's pretty even-keeled individual. He doesn't, he shows some good emotion, but he's not off the deep end either too high or too low. His preparation is very much the same. His approach to the game has been the same. He's worked a little bit more on the ice, I think, in the offseason than he did the year prior. And perhaps that set him up a little bit better. But I don't notice a significant change that I can put my finger on and say he's changed and changed his approach. He's just playing better.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.